Dogs have been our companions for a very long time. For thousands of years, they have lived alongside us. We have fed them. We have cared for them. The way we feed our dogs has changed greatly over this long history. It tells a story about technology. It tells a story about society. This film will explore that story, from simple leftovers to the complex science of modern pet food. The facts will be made plain, from the distant past to the world we see today. A bowl of food became more than just a meal. Dogs are part of the human family in many cultures. What we choose reflects our values and our knowledge. It also reflects our economic reality. This is the untold history of the dog's dinner. For most of roughly 15,000 years of cohabitation, a dog's diet was simple. They ate what we ate, or what was left. Excavations show dog remains mingled with human refuse, evidence of close association. Dogs were integrated into daily life and fed from the human food supply. Scraps from hunts and bones with meat attached were common. Agricultural societies added grains mixed with water or milk. In ancient Rome, Columella advised barley bread soaked in whey for working dogs. Feeding aimed at function, strength to guard and work. In Egypt, revered dogs likely ate household staples, bread, fish, and meat. Across centuries, diets reflected status and role. Hounds ate game offal. Herders got porridge, crusts, and what they could scavenge. No concept of balanced canine nutrition. Food was fuel for tasks. By the 1800s, most dogs still lived on scraps, urban strays on refuse, workers on provisions. Companion dogs in wealthy homes were fed more deliberately. But there were no factories, no dedicated store aisles. The age of scraps was long and nearly universal. Change arrived with industry, and with it, a biscuit. Mid-19th century, cities grew, a middle class with leisure and pets emerged. American electrician James Spratt in London saw dockside dogs eating hardtack. The ship biscuit inspired a new idea. Around 1860, Spratt launched the first commercial dog food. He called it Spratt's Patent Meat Fibrine Dog Cake, a biscuit blend of wheat meal, vegetables, beetroot, and beef blood. Manufactured, consistent, and convenient. Food you could buy. Spratt targeted English sportsmen, advertised in magazines, and sponsored dog shows. Success proved a market existed. Others followed. Dry, shelf-stable dog foods took hold. They solved mess and storage for urban owners. Marketing reframed dogs as companions deserving special care. Dog shows and kennel clubs amplified demand for reliable nutrition. A simple biscuit began a profound change. The bowl was no longer just for leftovers. Next came the can, and new convenience. A second revolution was underway. Early 20th century canning scaled up. Wet dog food entered U.S. markets in the 1920s. Cannell Ration, introduced by the Chappell brothers of Rockford, Illinois, was an early success. It used horse meat, abundant as automobiles displaced horses. Moist, palatable, ready to serve, cans surged in popularity by the 1930s. Sterilized cans preserved food without refrigeration. The industry settled into wet and dry categories. Early recipes often used byproducts from human meat packing, practical and soon debated. The 1930s crash forced many back to table scraps. The market contracted. World War II rationed meat and metal. In 1942, the U.S. banned tin plate for pet food canning. Wet production largely halted. Manufacturers pivoted to dry meals and biscuits in bags. Grains, cereals, and rendered proteins rose. Shelf-stable, affordable, available. Feeding armies accelerated R&D in preservation, dehydration, and nutrition. After 1945, capacity and know-how shifted back to civilian markets. Scarcity set the stage for a new, dry food revolution. Extrusion would change everything and redefine the bowl. Next, the crunch. The post-war boom brought military-developed technologies to consumer foods. Extrusion cooks a dough under heat and pressure, forming shapes through a die. first used for puffed cereals and snacks. In 1956, Ralston Purina, led by Dr. James E. Corbin, perfected extrusion for pet food. Light, dry, shelf-stable pellets, Kibble, were born. Extrusion cooks starches for digestibility. Fats, vitamins, and minerals could be added post-extrusion. Cheaper than cans, lighter to ship, easy to store and serve. Marketing and television spread the message of convenience and completeness. Major firms built high-capacity kibble factories. Kibble soon dominated the market. The sound of feeding time changed worldwide and spread across borders. Next, science entered the kitchen. From factories to laboratories, from recipes to requirements, from claims to criteria, standards would soon follow. Companies built R&D labs and hired veterinarians, nutritionists, and food scientists. In the U.S., AAFCO, a voluntary body of state and federal officials, shaped model regulations. In 1969, AAFCO published comprehensive nutritional profiles for dogs. Benchmarks defined complete and balanced diets. Feeding trials linked formulas to health outcomes across life stages. Optimal ranges for proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals were refined. Specialized diets, puppy, adult maintenance, senior, proliferated. Labels featured a guaranteed analysis, minimum protein and fat, maximum fiber and moisture. Scientific language also became a marketing tool. As dogs were treated like family, science signaled responsibility. Science moved from lab bench to food bowl. Formulas now stood on data, not tradition alone. Next, the consumer changed too, and started asking more questions. Aisles would never look the same. Premiumization beckoned, and information spread online. A new era arrived. Late 20th century, pets were humanized, beloved family members. People applied personal food standards to pet food. Consumers became label literate and research-driven. Premium segments promised higher quality ingredients at higher prices. Labels highlighted named proteins over generic meals. Brands emphasized exclusions alongside benefits. Marketing focused on visible health and vitality. The internet amplified information and misinformation. Shoppers read reviews and compared formulas. Empowered, yet sometimes overwhelmed. Boutique brands emerged via online channels and social media. Communities formed around dietary philosophies. Big manufacturers responded with premium lines and new language, natural, holistic, wholesome. Narratives pivoted from owner convenience to pet well-being. Selling food now meant selling a promise. Health and care defined the era. Some questioned processing itself. Alternatives took shape. A movement toward alternative feeding gained steam. In the 1990s, Australian veterinarian Ian Billinghurst popularized BARF, raw feeding. Proponents cited shinier coats, cleaner teeth, and higher energy. They argued high heat destroys some nutrients and enzymes. Commercial raw offerings, frozen or freeze-dried, simplified preparation. Veterinary bodies, including the AVMA, warned of pathogen risks in raw meat. Salmonella and E. coli can endanger pets and people. Homemade raw can be unbalanced without careful formulation. Grain-free diets rose, using legumes or potatoes instead of grains. In 2018, the FDA began investigating certain grain-free diets and canine DCM. The evolving evidence underscored nutrition's complexity. Debate continues with strong views on all sides. Many seek guidance to match diet to individual needs. Whatever the philosophy, completeness and safety remain core. Next, fresh and human-style meals emerged. Convenience met culinary cues. Recognizable ingredients reassured buyers. Then came sustainability. Today, the landscape is more diverse and complex than ever. Humanization fuels fresh, minimally processed refrigerated foods, often via subscriptions. Simple, recognizable components bridge kibble and home cooking. Sustainability entered the conversation. Meat production impacts land, water, and greenhouse gases. Alternative proteins, like black soldier fly larvae, require fewer resources. Cultured meats are being developed. Yeast and algae complement plant-based approaches. Upcycling more of each animal reduces waste, echoing history with modern control. The modern bowl mirrors science, nature, ethics, and emotion. From prescription formulas to local organic lines, choice abounds. Owners now navigate unprecedented variety. Feeding has become a statement of philosophy. Technology, values, and bonds shape the future bowl. New proteins will sit beside classics, but the relationship remains the constant. A long arc connects past and present. Now, the whole journey. The history of dog food mirrors our own, from agrarian life to industrial power, from utility to deep emotional connection. For millennia, feeding meant leftovers and scraps, practical and available. The 1800s biscuit made dog food a product, manufactured, packaged, and sold. Canning brought convenience to the bowl. Post-war extrusion delivered kibble, efficient, affordable, and dominant. Science defined requirements and standards. Today's market reflects humanization and demand for transparency. Sustainability drives novel proteins and better use of resources. Debates over raw or cooked, grain-free or not, show evolving priorities. The future promises new science, ingredients, and philosophies. From the campfire's edge to today's aisle, an extraordinary journey. Our choices stand on this long history. Technology, values, and bonds will shape the bowl ahead. One question remains constant. What is the best way to feed our dogs? The answer continues to evolve.